What's up, guys? Today we're playing Epic 7, and today we're on a subscriber account, Snow Me the Way. Now, one of the goals for this account is to beat all the Nightmare bosses, and today we're going to take our first step toward that and beat Nightmare Karkanis. We're going to destroy Karkanis, right? This is actually one of the easier bosses, and you probably have a lot of these heroes already geared up. So stick around, let's do it, and hope that we get some good gear as well. Let's go now into our Karkanis builds for Nightmare mode. First up is our Angelic Rune. She's super easy to build. As you can see, she's on pretty much all free gear. We have some defense, we have some health. I like to have her about like 180 or so speed. It can even be a little less. Now, the idea here is that when you're going into, let's say, a PvP battle, we want the enemy to go first. That way she can heal, bring everyone back to full. I like to have her onto Rod of Amaryllis because she cycles so fast and does so much healing. We want 200 or more effect resist, and we could still do her imprint, but haven't done that yet. Now we come to Amelia, and she's using mostly, I guess she's using all free gear. This is all arena gear. I only have the ring that was rolled. It's not amazing. It's an 83, but it has everything that we need, right? So speed, health, effect resist, and we have a flat defense here, which is not terrible. This last one could be pretty much anything: effectiveness, flat defense, whatever, and it'll be a good ring. Now, what we see on her is that we don't really need anything specific. You can make her as fast as you want. If you're using it for PvP, then 240, 250 if you want to. In this case, we're not, so we just have to hit base stats of defense, health, and some effect resist. Then I have her onto Megahara's Tome for just extra fast cycling. That way she can continue to bring up Shu with her S number 2. Speaking of Shu, she is plus 15, which is pretty cool. We have her onto just random gear, right? We're rolling for Terranor Guard. We got this gear, and we'll show this here since we actually had to roll this type of gear. It's not amazing. We see some of the gear that rolled effectiveness. We see some that rolled effect resist. You could definitely do better. Ideally, I want to put her onto HP pair of boots and get her up to something like 25, 26,000 health. And we want to have 85% crit chance. That way we're able to crit the boss onto every hit. When we look at the exclusive equipment, this is pretty much the only one you should run. 40% chance to activate her S number 2. And then we want to max out this Daydream Joker eventually, and she'll be good to go. And then we come to Brieg. We're using him into all of our expeditions. We're also using him a lot into some of our PvE content, like this Nightmare Raid. His gear turned out pretty okay. I want to have him 175 or less speed. That way we don't have to do a manual onto the Dark Expedition. 1200 to 1500 defense is good. 23k HP is where I want to be. He needs 85% crit chance to critical hit on the things that are not fire. In this case, because he gets the perception somewhere here, he'll get 15% from perception and another 15% for elemental advantage. So he's guaranteed to crit. 230 crit damage is okay. You can get more if you want to. Looks like we'll get a little bit more here. And then we want to have 85% effectiveness. Now his S number 3 will give him a 50%. So you only need 35%, so we're a little bit over, but that's okay. No big deal there. He is a 0, plus 0, so he'll perform a lot better once you get him to plus 15. And then you can run him on a lot of artifacts. I have him on the Steadfast Gatekeeper because I really don't have any damage-based artifacts for knights. If you get something like the, Shark Charlotte, the Bikini Charlotte. If you get her artifact, that works well. The More artifact also works well, and I think the Ilanav artifact works well. So any one of those I think will work as long as you can keep him alive. So if you run 23k HP, you can put him on a damage artifact. If you're running low like this, then you can put him onto Steadfast Gatekeeper, and he works out pretty well into pretty much every kind of content you bring him in. Here we go with Karkanis now. This is going to be the team that I had built in our last video. And you know what? It's not too hard of a strategy. You see that I have a bunch of souls here because I did have to walk here this time. Being the first time that this player has ever done this boss, you have to walk the first time. And you know, you might not have these souls if you teleport, so you'll have to extend your fight a little bit until you build up some souls. This is basically going to be the shoe party. So we have her onto rage gear just because we don't have counter gear. Rage will work just fine. And then we are going to soul burn once we get to the crazy stage. So that will be fun. When we get to, I think, 70% here, then we're going to see the boss start to go into stealth mode. That is where Brig is going to come into place. He is going to break that boss out of stealth and allow us to damage him. Once he gets to 40%, then he goes crazy, and we're just going to try and burn him down with our shoe from that point on. Now, because she does have the rage gear, it's important to have debuffs up. That way you do even more damage. The only thing I'm really worried about here is shoe's kind of annoying. So I really don't want to listen to her right now. So that's going to be about it. Let's see how this turns out. I am going to continue to do the S3 and then do the S2 when it comes up. You see here that the boss, when he entered into that next phase, cleared the debuffs. So keep that in mind if you're really planning to burn him down as fast as possible. There we go. Break him out of stealth. Let's see if we can get a sleep here, and we don't. In this case, we're bringing in 2 healers, and we want to do that just because we want to continue to remove debuffs as soon as possible. Let's go ahead and let's just burn one. Let's just burn one, just so that I don't have max souls. Very good. Then we'll go ahead and hit him again. 2 lucky procs, nice. I like that.
Are you finished fighting? The time has come.
I'm using Amelia today just because that's who this player has, and we built them specifically for this boss. She's very good into a lot of content, so don't be afraid to build her because you can use her into a lot of things. The S number 3 I'm going to save just because I don't need the shield and I don't need to remove any debuffs. That's kind of the name of the game, is continuing to remove debuffs all the time. If you hit the boss when you have debuffs, he tends to not like it, so we don't want to do that.
Your efforts are futile.
And this one, are we going to break him out again? Very good. Yeah, that worked out perfectly. We're getting really close to that 40%. And the best part is Shu hasn't annoyed me too bad yet. Let's go ahead and we are going to... Once we hit this 40%, he's going to cleanse again. So there's no point rushing to that 40%. So let's go ahead and we are just going to get 1 hit down here. Let's go ahead and take this debuff off. 1 hit from Shu should do it. There it is, and we see that now the debuffs are gone, so we want to apply them again. If you are really paying attention and you want it to be amazing, much more amazing than I am, then you could save your S3 here to apply the defense break onto this Karkanis. Again, the Shu is going to do so much more damage when you have a defense break here. Let's see if I can boost him up and get that defense break.
Your efforts are futile.
This will also remove the shield, which is very nice.
For your reckless greed.
Okay, and that's gonna be it. The Shu she's gonna just nuke. 19,000, 19,000. No procs, not 1 proc. And that's gonna be it for this boss. Super simple. Let's go ahead and take a look at our map. Now I did have to walk all the way to the boss, and I just turned around and came up this little area here. Went west to kill the mini boss, and then went to the east, I guess this is east, and then north to finish out here. Now that's pretty much all I'm going to do on this run. Then we are going to go ahead and go through the portal. Now, once you go through the portal, of course, it's going to use your tokens and you're going to get your rewards. So let's see what we get today. Get lots of the runes, charms, whatever they are. We get lots of them. Let's see what we get here. I think these are not things that I'm going to use. Level 80 gear actually isn't bad. If you can get a good starting value around about 28, 29 or higher, I think it's going to be good. And these are good stats to have. We see attack, crit chance, crit damage, and health. So if it rolls really good into health, we have a good sword. If it rolls really good into attack, we have a good sword. Then, of course, we want 1 to 2 rolls into crit chance. So we're going to keep that one. Now we come to a pair of boots. This one starts at a 37. 9 is the highest, and we get 8 onto health and defense. We get a near max onto crit chance and crit damage as well. 8 is the highest on crit damage, and 6 is the highest on crit chance. So overall, pretty good. Now I'm going to keep it. I'm going to look at my other Unity pieces and see how these ones go before we roll them. So let's see what we come up with. Let's check out how our gear is going to roll. These are the Karkanis pair of boots. They're pretty darn good. I like them. Let's see what kind of rolls we get. All right, we get a 4 out of 6 for crit chance. Very good. I want 2 rolls here into crit chance. Only a 5 in health now. Now we're at a 54, which is about right. We probably want to get to closer to 57. Now we're at a 66, which is perfect. The level 88 boots, because they cannot be reforged, we want them to go to a higher level, more in line with what we would expect after we have a reforge. Now we have a 93. This is good. I want a 90 plus. Now it's on a Unity set, so make sure you have additional Unity pieces, but still very good piece to use. Now let's go ahead and go into our weapon. Now this one is attack, crit chance, crit damage. We also see health here. Now we want it to go into the top 3. We get a max roll into the crit damage. Very nice. Okay, and a min roll. So a max roll, then a min roll. I have a 46. I want to have a 47. One thing to keep in mind is that you cannot reforge level 80 gear, so it has to roll pretty amazing. And at this point, not something that I'm going to keep. I want to be at a 57. Now I'm at a 53, so this one is going to be junk. We're not going to keep this level 80 gear. This is the very first step in Nightmare, but we're going to keep at it. We're going to keep going until we can get all these bosses done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give me a like so other people just like you can find that as well. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck on your battles.